Namaskar, I am Himani Negi, Assistant Professor English at Government PG College, Ranikhet. And this is my micro teasing video on the topic Sampling and Research submitted to UGC MMTC Kumaon University Nainital for refresher course in Research Writing and Academic Integrity. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about what is sampling and what is the importance of sampling in research. So as you see in this slide that it is about what is sampling. So sampling is one of the most important stages of research, and basically effective sampling method help us to draw meaningful conclusion about a larger population. So in other word, in a simple word, we can say sampling is a process of selecting a subset of individual from a larger population. Here in this slide you can see some of the famous definition of sampling. I have quoted some of the very famous definition of sampling. So first one is according to Cullinger. Sampling is taken any portion of a population or a universe as representative of that population or universe. So it's a very famous definition of sampling by Cullinger. So here I have also mentioned uh, some of the definition quoted by Cohen, Mannion and Morrison, and one is by the Kothari also. So moving forward, the second thing which is very important about sampling is sampling basically include two key terms. First is population and the second one is sample. So before moving further, I would like to tell you about what is a population. So the entire group of individual items or elements that a researcher wants to study. Basically, population includes a, a complete whole area of our study. For example, in educational research, the population could be all high school students in a country. In medical research, the population might be all the patients with a specific condition. So basically, population includes all the area of study. Now again in it we have the two things. First is the target population and second is the accessible population. Target population basically the entire group the researcher is interested in, and accessible population the portion of the target population that is available for the study. Now the second things about the sampling process is that a sample. What is a sample? Basically a sample is a subset of population selected for research purpose. It is taken from population to make inferences about larger population based on the study of this smaller group. And here I have also mentioned in this slide, you can say characteristic of a good sample. So it must be representativeness, it must be a good representative of the whole population. So representativeness accurately reflect the population. And again the second important thing about a sample is that it must have an adequate size, sufficiently large to allow generalization. I'm quoting here, I have given an example here. Suppose if the population is all university student, a sample might include 500 randomly selected student. So here I have also added one picture. So in this picture you can see this is the population, and we have derived a sample from this population. Next, in this slide you can see the process of sampling, and it includes several steps. First we have to define the population, then develop sampling frame, select the sampling method, determining sample size, execute the sample process. So sampling basically include all such step. We have to follow all such step in order to complete this process of sampling. Now you can see we have a different types of sampling methods. We have a different techniques of sampling. We have a different methods of sampling. Two most prominent and to journal category of sampling is the probability sampling, non-probability sampling. Further, we can divide probability sampling into some sub category, and similarly non-probability sampling have some sub type of sampling. First, uh, we have the under the probability sampling, we have the simple random, stratified random, cluster sampling, systematic sampling, multi-stage sampling is also present. Now, non-probability sampling, basically it includes quota sampling, snowball sampling, judgment sampling, convenience sampling. Now I'm going to tell you about what is a probability sampling. Basically, probability sampling is a sampling technique in which every member of a population has a known non-zero chance of being selected. And this method is used in research to create a sample that is representative of the entire population. And I have also mentioned some of the key feature of the probability sampling. And now non-probability sampling. So non-probability sampling is a sampling technique in which not all the member of the population have a known or a equal chance of being selected. Unlike probability sampling, it does not rely on random selection, which can lead to sampling bias. And I have also mentioned some of the key feature of the non-probability sampling. And next, I'll tell you about advantages and disadvantages of sampling. So advantages, talking about the advantage of sampling: cost effective, time saving, manageability, practicality, and accuracy and quality, and feasibility. These are some advantages of sampling. So we can save our time, money, efforts compared to studying the entire population. Suppose if we have to we cannot study the entire population, so we have to take sample. So it saves time, money, and efforts. And what are the disadvantages of sampling? So sometimes sampling bias, there are sample errors and limited generalization, because we our study is based on a smaller group in comparison to the larger group. So limited generalization